Well, friends, so on this note, we are concluding the course. This course, as you know, has started on 16th of September. During the course, I tried to cover the very basic concept of SSBs. And the basic idea, the fundamental idea behind this was to eradicate the misconceptions from the minds of the young aspirants, you in particular. Because in my opinion, the misconceptions created by multiple sources, they are really playing havoc as far as your prospects are concerned. So we have in great detail dwelt on the concepts of SSB, what it is not primarily, and then we have developed the concept of SSB. And then, friends, we have gone about the micro and minuscule details about the psych technique. Friends, whatever we have covered was merely an indication towards your growth and development. Please understand this way that the classroom instructions are not sufficient. You have to develop your qualities first, and you have to practice these qualities in the daily life. There are other aspects of SSBs also, let's say the group testing, let's say the interview. And I feel that I should limit myself with my own technique. However, you are given an opportunity to ask about the general aspect of the SSBs. That's one. In case anything from the psych technique remains unclear, not clear, hazy, if you could not ask a question during the normal class, at least a few questions last minute could be clarified before we depart. But my basic request will be, do not go with a haze in your mind. As I have told you, that I believe in putting a broad picture in front of you. All these tests and the tools, unless they are connected with the conceptual roots, will not be of any use to you anyway. So I will not be taking much of a time. I'm inviting your questions and doubts. Now you can ask me the questions about the general conduct, the general aspect of the SSBs, and in case something about the other techniques, minor of course, and psych technique in particular, do ask me. Anyone? Pratyush. Okay, Pratyush, what exactly is the question? Can you please?
Sir, I have two questions.
Hmm.
First is, how low marks in 12th class may affect psych perception when he is reading my data after going through my PIQ.
Okay.
First. Second is, how we can improve the power of expressions.
Well, so should I answer your first question? Actually, if you see the developmental graph of your academic performance, you can, lower hands. Thank you. Class 12th is a stage wherein most of the people, they post a nose diving, or something which is inconsistent with your other academic, it is not in consistency with your other academic records. There are multiple reasons, and psychologists, they are aware of that. You see, particularly those people who have studied the CBSE syllabus, from class 10 to class 12, there is a multi-fold increment in the volume of the syllabus. And also there is a specialization. Many people, they later on feel that they have chosen the wrong combinations in their class 11th and 12th. Next thing is, friends, remember that this is the time when you are passing through almost the middle of your teenage, in which the emotionality is heightened, it's at its peak. It affects your focus for everybody. I'm not making a value judgment. It happens. It's a very much natural thing. So many a time you lose focus. Another thing is, this is the age of diversification. Many things attract you. And the last point is that you are passing through a very turbulent stage of your development physically, socially, sexual maturity and interest. These are the things to be realized by everybody, and psych also realizes it affects your performance. All these things, you're going through a very volatile stage of life. It affects your performance, all right, but the question is, later part, did you realize it and could you make it up? Or let us say, in case your performance is low in academics, what about your other fields? Did you participate in extracurricular activities? And which will justify that, well, your some achievements in the extracurricular activities, they were at the cost of your academics. So friends, it's a complex situation, but unfortunately, NDA guys, they will not be having this opportunity to justify, at least in their first terms. Okay, for the first time when they are, appearing. Behral, the graduate entry people, they have got an opportunity to regather, to analyze, and repost their, good academic records. And we have seen it, that the people, most of the people, intelligent people, well-meaning people, well-adjusted people, those people who have shown a nose-diving trend, or downward trend in their class 12th results, they have again bounced back. So psychologist is just not seeing one aspect of it. He's taking you in totality. So as far as your first question is concerned, I try to answer it. As far as your second question is concerned, how to improve your expression. So remember, expression is to be practiced in the real life. And there are two parts of the expression. One is the intent, what you want to communicate. This is the reflection of your maturity, how your thoughts mature. Frankly speaking, the more you practice discussing the thoughts or ideas, not just the information. In case in your discussion with others, the thought contents, the concepts, the conclusions, they feature more. Okay, automatically there will be an improvement, but practice in the formal situations and practice in the informal situation. The more you practice, language is not something to be possessed. Expression is not something to be possessed. It is to be practiced. It's a skill that will improve with the practice. So do not feel shy. Remain social. Keep discussing, keep exchanging the ideas. I hope it's clear. Anyone else? Any other question? Nikhil, you want to ask some question? Yeah, do. Go ahead, please.
Sir, first of all, I would like to thank you for helping us take such a positive step towards our preparation. It has really busted many myths, and as I said, it has helped me take a positive step. Sir, I may appear over enthusiastic here because I have so many questions to ask. So should I do one by one?
Just one by one. Let us see.
Right,
one or two questions, and after that, leave the stage for others also. They might be having some.
Sure.
We may revert to you. So let's say if you've got many questions, so 3 questions.
Okay, sir. I'll go with 2, sir.
Okay, fine.
2 of them.
Go ahead.
Sir. So this is the situation here, sir, that there is a candidate A, and in his SSB, he has done good, or we can say above average, or we can say that he has satisfied the assessors in psychology and interview. But he did not do the same in his GTO task because he did not fare well in the outdoor task. So how will this impact his chances of recommendation? And sir, the second question is, what are your absolute essentials for all the candidates who are appearing in SSB across all the techniques? And not even just the techniques, but conduct, behavior, and mannerisms when we are there. So these are my first two questions, sir.
Well, I'll attend your second question first. What are the basics or what are the essential aspects? Vivek, I'll come to you. Let me answer these questions. So the second question, as asked by Nikhil only, I suppose I'm remembering the name, correctly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the first thing you have, second part of your, second question was that what are the bare essential things? So remember, just a few things. First thing is that you should enjoy being in a group. Nowadays, especially in the metro cities, and because of the weight of academics, the social activities in the life of a student, they have become minimum. However, the requirement, whatever is the change, number of changes have taken place, okay. But the requirement of the armed forces, despite all the technology inclusions, etc., much the same. I mean, you understand. We require a person who enjoys being in a team. That's number one. You cannot afford to be a loner. Number two, that the scope of outdoor activities in today's scenario, as far as your developmental phase is concerned. Again, I would say because of the weight of academics, your participation in the outdoor activities, games, sports, and adventures, it's a known fact. It is reduced. It's just trickling down. But if you have participated in games, sports, etc., and adventurous activities, you develop love for adventure, you develop being in a group, okay. You start taking care, share, looking after each other at the time when something untoward, something like a minor accident could happen during the adventurous activities or an injury in the sports field. So be sports loving, and to the extent possible, try to be, some adventure loving person also. Third thing is, friends, remember that while we are in a group, we must have a self-perceived role. That is, whether we are going to be a leader or a follower. We prefer a person who carries the group along. And this will be exploited. You will be taught a lot of leadership techniques in different situations. We are seeing you as a person who is always a leader of his troops, and particularly during the situations of difficulties and crisis. Right, friends? If you are mindful of these things, besides, what is most essential part is that you are a diversified personality and you are a well-informed person who doesn't only have the facts which are of academic nature, but you are having a lot of general knowledge. You are participating in the various situations of your life. You are aware of the various situations of life. Okay. When we were discussing about the acceptability of a leader by the troops, you know what was the first point? It was that a well-informed and cognitively rich person is well accepted, respected by the troops, and they have got more faith. Right. Academics have overburdened the student today. Besides these academics, if you can accommodate these things in your activities, you certainly will acquire the personality of a prospective successful candidate. Now, coming to your first question, that if you have been a little poorer in your outdoor activities, in outdoor tasks, should I say, will it prejudice your chances? Well, friends, outdoor tasks, they are also on a very broad canvas. They are group tasks as well as individual tasks. They are progressive group task, half group task, command task, from group to individual, right? Then there are different levels of difficulties. So your basic sense, your sense of basic engineering, your group behavior, all these things. So once you say that I did not perform well in the group task, then what are the reasons for that? The GTO only can know, and that person only can give his opinion. See, a very, very basic conclusion can be drawn that this person is a paper tiger, maybe. I mean, I should not be giving this kind of a value judgment, but this person is very, very academic. But we go for yet another aspect, that is trainable. Are you trainable or not? And there are multiple factors. We have seen, I mean, trust my experience. The GTOs tell, sir, he was very good in the indoor task, a little weak appeared in the outdoor task. However, he's trainable. But the trainability judgment will be given by the GTO only. I, as a psychologist, I cannot say what are his reasons. He will be justifying. So I hope do not take only one aspect always. As it is, I've been telling you people that we are taking the holistic view of the personality, not in isolation or the individual qualities or observations. GTO himself will present the case, not based on your performance only, but he has gathered a gestalt or holistic opinion about your suitability or otherwise. I hope I have answered. Nikhil, are you happy and satisfied with the answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. We have got another questions, but let us see if any other person has got some questions to ask. I think Raj, you were discussing something that you will be asking a few questions at the end of the question. I mean, at the end of the session. And yes, you raise hands also. Yes, Raj, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sir, actually, sir, I want to ask that suppose in our PPDT session or the TAT session during our psych test. So suppose we are getting some picture or the theme which is not regarding to our character or age or sex or our motivation. So how can we make stories fluently at that time?
In PP and DT you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question?
And sir, secondary is the how can we inculcate the SPELTI technique, that is the social, political, education
Inculcate
in our thoughts.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
sir.
So I think SPELTI, that will be the first one to tackle. See, these are the broad headings, and these have got the micro aspects. S for social, and it's a very broad heading. And then in the social heading, you will find, let us say, social discrimination, social harmony, and there are multiple problems, social adjustment, individual versus group conflicts. Okay. Let's say Hamas versus whatever is the conflict going on, Hamas versus Israel, or for that matter, what's happening in some of our own provinces, let's say Manipur for that matter. You will find that they have got some social roots in that. So the social is the broad heading and then small things. So it will come to you when you are an active seeker of knowledge and information. You have to make it strong by your studies, by active participation, actively discussing these things, watching some good TV channels. Of course, as of now, I cannot recommend you, frankly speaking. I'm so much sick of the level of the debates there. But yes, there are still some channels in which you'll find some people, some experts, they give their opinions. So you watch those shows. Then, as far as P is concerned, P is, expanded as political does not mean politics. P is the issue of the governance. Politics is the part of, or it's a means of giving ourselves the governance. There are many issues of governance, and they are featuring almost every day in the newspapers, on the social media. Similarly, ELTI, technology, international relations, education, economy, employment, these issues, they must be the part of your cognitive development, because tomorrow you have to take up the leadership of society, either through a civil career or a career in the military. So study, argue, watch, and then try to practice these things. For example, let us say if the gender bias is a social issue, and if you are finding a gender bias somewhere in your own close circles, express this opinion. Of course, pleasantly. So spelti, SPELTI, is to be expanded and made more consolidated. And by the way, for all of you, there's nothing like a stage which is starting point of making your SPELTI stronger and end point. It is a lifelong. Even today, at the age of 62, I read the newspapers critically, and especially wherein there is a particular opinion given, particular side is given with the arguments or the logic. So this is one thing. And sorry, your first question just slipped out of my mind. Could you repeat, please?
Sir, during the TAT or PPDT,
Got it. So
that character thing.
you want to say that if the projected picture is not having any character of our own age group, gender, then how can we make any other person hero? Vagera? See, first of all, understand that there is a difference in the application of technique in PPDT and in the psych technique, that is in the TAT. In the TAT, it is the projective technique in which you project your qualities on an undefined character. So if the undefined character is not visible in the projected picture, you make him as a part of the task achievement and justify why such a person is not present in the projected picture. This goes for the consumption of the psychologist. He will understand your intent, he will understand your content. But please understand that PP and DT is for the consumption of a mini board in which there is a gentleman from the psychology, another person from group testing technique, and the third person will be the interviewing officer. All of them might not have the same perspective about the stories that you will write in your PP and DT. So here, my recommendation, ideally, any person who can successfully achieve the task automatically becomes the lead character, protagonist, successful, or whatever is there. Ideally. Your purpose is first to justify your perception. It is not the test. By the way, PPDT is not, it's a mixed bag. The psychological part of PP and DT is primarily the test of your perception, in which you perceive the age of the person, gender of the person, action of the person, mood of the person, and subsequently, you write a story in which you are connecting the actions with the past, present, a little bit of imagination. So I think you will find any character who is closer to you, not in every aspect, but somebody who can successfully complete the task. Remember that it will generate a discussion, and everybody will not be in a position to appreciate your stance. This character was not there and you have brought it from outside. You understand? Now you have to justify it. So better avoid such a situation, as it is the group discussion that follows the story writing. It is, what is the environment? It is totally chaotic, and logic is the last word. Whenever you have to justify the same thing to an ignorant audience, I mean, ignorant is a little harsh word, I would say, it is difficult to justify. why you have picked up a person. You'll unnecessarily kick a controversy in the group discussion, if at all you are heard there. Otherwise, the level of noise and the decibel which the people they make a record nowadays, understand. So I hope that both of your doubts or queries, they are well answered and you have taken them well.
Thank you so much, sir.
Any other question? Someone else has raised hands after Raj. Anyone else? Ravinder, perhaps? Ranjal? Huh?
Sir,
Okay, Ravinder, did you have some question?
yes, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
Sir, if a person who get recommended once, why he is not recommended twice? Again, let's say
Wonderful.
for instance, just before he is going to the academy, he is not recommended. So it is not like it's totally like it's not मतलब पूरी process को ही
I got it. You can share some of your other observations also. Yes, it is there. The fact is there that many people, I mean, there is nothing like a consistency of once recommended will always be recommended. They can be screened out also, this but do you have anything else to share on this matter?
So let's say there is a guy who is just in the academy, the IMA, and he come back to just give a test in the Air Force, and he is not recommended. That clearly show that like वो psych में fail हो गया, whatever could be the reason. But as a working, he's already fit for the academy. He's doing the training in the academy, but he's not fit.
See, I know some people rather closely. Okay. There's a girl, a daughter of my own colleague once upon a time. She is presently an officer in the Navy. She has appeared, she was born and brought up in the Air Force environment. Air Force environment was a very natural choice, but just it was by default she appeared, for Navy, and she was recommended from Bhopal board. She was screened out at Varanasi selection board. Now the question comes is something. Dekho, it certainly puts us in a situation of doubt about the consistency of the test. The test have to be consistent. Now let me answer the questions. First, please understand it is not the measurement, it is the assessment. We are not using any objective tool. Let's say if you have to weigh something, what is the weight of this book? You put it on a weighing scale. Weighing scale is neutral. You are weighing it, or any other person, X, Y, Z, any person is weighing, as long as the scale is the same, it will show the same results. Is it the very same fact about the human beings? No, sir. We are governed by multiple situations. Our mood, the testing situations. Are the test given to the person the same as he received? Is the SRT set the same which he received once he was recommended? Set of assessors. Our performance is not something which is fixed. It fluctuates. You have seen sometimes Rohit Sharma, or for that matter, the very established batsman Virat Kohli, they didn't fire consistently. Matches after matches, they were failures. And after that, they were matches after matches, they posted very, they fired, should I say. The performance is not consistent. We are not robots. We are not programmed robots, friends. Our test change, I would say our mindset changes. We are constantly in a state. This is psychology. This is the way psychology and mathematics and the pure sciences, they differ. You watch a person, let us say, I take my own example. Once upon a time, under some influence, किसी गुरु जी ने, किसी साधु, किसी सज्जन आदमी ने बता दिया कि you have to help poor. So let's say if I'm driving from one place to the other, Delhi mein khas karke almost every day I used to drive for about 30 to 40 kilometers up and down. And on various light points, some beggar will come and I will, dish out some money to that beggar. But there were certain occasions I was rather in a hurry, and the moment somebody is knocking at your, the door, you just get here, bhag jao. You show anger rather than the compassion. You must have seen sometimes the mothers, they get cheesed. They show irritation on the behavior of the toddlers, isn't it? So we are never consistent, first of all. Remember, the testing situation is not the very same. The tests are not the very same. The command task, the outdoor task, they are not very same. The set of assessors is not the very same. Temperature is not the same. Terrain is not the same. So we are constantly in a flux. Yes, we operate between the 2 points. It's not like that ki sometimes, we are absolutely down sometimes. We operate between the 2 points. And just could be the luck or the chance or by default, yes, never know the person who is undergoing the training. He might, and this happens, it's my conviction. This happens only with those people who are borderliners. So sometimes their performance is significantly seen above the borderline. Sometimes they are just the borderline. And remember one thing, that the cases of borderlines are decided by a principle, that benefit of doubt should go to the service and not to the individual. Okay. So I hope you got it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question? If you don't have a question, then friends, let us, I would like to just for my own assessment, if one or two of you, in case you can sum up, what have you learned? What was your perspective earlier? How did you find the course contents? Same, different, very different? Were you benefited at all or you did not? Give me a frank opinion.
Sir, may I?
Nikhil, you wanted to say something? Yes. Okay, quickly, please, because.
Yes, sir. What I wanted to say was about the course. I won't go into the specifics, but what I learned was that preparing for SSB as advertised is very much more than that. It is more than OLQs. It is more than the positive approach. And it is more than what is often said in the popular mainstream preparation fora. And secondly, sir, what I have taken away is this, to the content that was shared. It has not only added value for me as a aspirant or candidate for the SSBs, but also as a responsible citizen, as a person, as a son, as a brother, and in future, whatever roles I may play. So it has helped me gain insight in that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So nice. And before I sign off for the, the course, I think Pranjal had a very, once upon a time, I think Pranjal, you expressed that you have been given, some kind of belief that your TAT or what was that? Something was to be in sync, or could you please repeat the,
Yes, sir. I was of the perspective that our in our psychological test, all the VATs should be in sync with the TAT story. So it is like whatever qualities or like our image is being perceived by the psychologist while checking our TAT. So that should do the justification in the VAT also.
All right, I got it. There are many people who approach me with the same thought that, sir, somebody has told that our responses have to be in sync with the previous test. See, easier said than done. Yes, you are a holistic personality, you are a consistent personality, you are not a split personality. There has to be a logical flow in your responses. To that extent, I agree. But please understand that TAT and WAT, they bring out different qualities. For example, let us say, what is your need pattern? What is the content of your unconscious mind? The thematic perception test that stirs your unconscious mind. And there are many things, let us say your needs, your press, your defense mechanisms. These are the, the academic terms, which will not be of much of use to you in case I started telling you. For example, I've told you that there are 3 types of pictures. Huh?
Yes, sir.
You remember the neutral pictures
Yes, sir.
and the suggesting
Neutral.
and
Yes,
the
sir.
direct. Now, there is a psychological concept. It is called as the press. Academically, now I'm talking about alpha press and beta press. So, see, as far as the academic part is concerned, you have to appear as a holistic personality, but consciously bringing your responses in sync with the previous one, I'm afraid it is just a theoretical impossibility. First of all, they are attacking the different levels of your mind. TAT is shaking up or stirring or stimulating your unconscious mind. WAT, which we have just finished, WAT is activating your thoughts or ideas. They operate at your subconscious mind. There are various impulses which are controlled by, let us say, the id impulses are there. I mean, again, this amounts to become rather academic. We control our impulses. We regulate our behavior. Okay. So WAT has got a different purpose. Stimulation is different. Stimulus is different, and they operate at the different levels of your mind. The judgment, whether it is in sync or whether it is not in sync, that you leave it to the psychologist. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot consciously, you cannot pretentiously, you cannot deliberately manipulate your responses. You cannot bring it, frankly speaking. If I were blunt, if somebody has asked me that your responses have to be in sync with the TAT, I'll ask him, how? Tell me first. Easier said than done. Okay, friends, thank you very much for your presence here, for your kind words. If you feel that there has been a change in your perspective and your outlook, and if you feel that now you are a better person, better oriented person towards the SSB, I feel my efforts will be they are well rewarded. And then we'll be going as per the schedule that we made for your dossier assessment. In that, I'll be sending you please share your IDs, mail IDs. I think you have already shared on the WhatsApp group. You will receive, after a few days, you will receive a set of tests along with the instructions. Please convert your responses in PDF and send back to me on my mail. I will download it, and then on the appointed day and time, then we'll be discussing your responses threadbare. Thank you very much. In case you are satisfied and happy with the approach, with the contents, do share with others. Definitely we require to create awareness among the people about what is available and what should have been available. So with this, friends, I'm signing off. Thank you very much. You have been definitely a lovely audience. God bless you. Keep me posted.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.